Let's talk Wicked for Good for those on the panel that have seen it. Alan and I saw it at a very intimate screening at the Alamo Draft House, drinking themed drinks and pizza.
They give a little shots that the Oz wizard keeps taking throughout the movie.
No, but we did have a Wicked pizza, or Make It Wicked. For those that saw it, love to hear your thoughts, and we will discuss why I believe it failed. But please chime in. And Badger,
I have some major problems with the film. I mean, here's the thing. I thought it was fine. It was fine. It was. I've seen the musical, like the stage musical, 3 times, and I will agree with most people that the second half is kind of the weaker half of the stage play. It tracks here too in this movie. It's the second half is definitely weaker than the first movie. It was fine. It was enjoyable. I thought visually it was beautiful. I mean, but there's no surprise there. We knew it was going to be. The costumes were amazing. We knew that was going to happen. I think what doesn't work for me in this movie, and I'm being completely fair with it, is I just feel like everything felt completely rushed in that last like 30 minutes or 40 minutes. I hate it. Like, I know what happens in the stage play, but I don't think it translated well, the whole scarecrow thing with him and Elphaba. I know I'm kind of giving some things away, I think. I don't know. But I just feel like everything felt too, and I'm trying to put the right words together here.
It's teenage fanfic. We didn't need origins for Tin Man and Scarecrow, and it absolutely alienates the movie. It might be accurate to the
here's
books.
The thing, Badger. I guess in the play I didn't mind it. For some reason in the film it bugged me a lot.
Because it looks like it is directly linking to the movies as opposed to the books.
And maybe that's it. Because for some reason in the play it works fine. But in this movie, it felt wrong. Everything about that felt wrong.
You know what's weird? Because in the play, we're 100 feet from the actors. And so they look really small, but when they're on screen, they're very large. And somehow it just felt weird to watch it. And to not get the impact from the play that you would hopefully get from the movie.
It also makes them liars now. If we're saying it's accurate to the movie, like the Judy Garland version, it now gives them this 69. Weird Obi-Wan lie from omission and certain point of view shit about Tin Man and Scarecrow's history that is completely different than
that's musical. It's in the musical.
Right. But as Dante points out, it works on stage, but when you put it in visual and make it visually sync up with the movie, it becomes alienating.
Well, me, Badger, I hate to do this to you, but there's a hostage video that you're a star of.
Oh,
and you need to see this. You need to see.
Save me from saying it again.
Good. The second part of the
we can't see it, Chris.
As someone who went into
I just hear it. We can't see it on screen.
Expecting not to like it and being thoroughly surprised, and I think I gave it like a 7, 7.5, maybe even an 8. Either way, I did not have that experience this time. This time, I got what I thought I was going to get in that first part, and I was bored and disinterested for a lot of it. I didn't enjoy, I think, one of the songs until I got to the Jeff Goldblum one, and then the wand fight, and the last 30 minutes are the strongest. I didn't realize we were going to see how the Straw Man and Tin Man were made, and I didn't exactly enjoy all that, but I guess it ended on a happy note, and haven't seen the stage play, haven't read the book it's based on, so just basing it on the movies, it's like a 5, 5.5 maybe at the highest. Would have rather seen Running Man, would have rather seen Predator Badlands over all of it. So
wow.
It is what it is. It'll probably make another $1 billion, but definitely not as good as the first one. So probably just wait for streaming.
Damn.
And I forgot
that wand fight. You didn't think that was greater than Duel of Fates?
I did actually think that was pretty funny. Yes, I hope someone did. I kept hearing how there was all this impropriety around how Elphaba was created, and then we see the flashback. That is not how drugging or anything happens. That's done in secret. What we saw was Elphaba's mom was just fun and was partying with the wizard.
Well, no. Elphaba is that's in the book.
Right.
Yeah.
But as depicted
in the show, she's just cheating on her husband.
Yeah, she's just partying. Yeah. He slid it across the table like an old saloon.
But that was the wizard in the play as well who seduces her.
Right.
Yeah.
These character designs are like a horror film. It's like body horror here. it's scary. And
I will
really
say the
doesn't work.
Tin Man looks awesome. The Scarecrow looks
Yeah, he looked
terrible.
Yeah, it does not look good. But I mean, there was an opportunity for them to do something with Dorothy. Like in the play, she's sidelined. We never see her face. Same thing in Wicked for Good. There was an opportunity. Like, what were they doing together, taking her on the yellow brick road,
Yeah.
gaslighting her? It could have been funny. Like, they find this girl, and maybe the Tin Man, right, Brock, and Fierro, the Scarecrow, are kind of to Dorothy's face, presenting one, motivation for why they're seeing the wizard. But the two of them know who they are. It was very, in the play, it's very rushed. Here, it's even worse than the play.
Yeah,
I think.
So act 2 of the play, there's a reason that it works in theater form. It's because when
Yes.
you're done with Act 1, you get a 15-minute intermission, right? And then you're swept back into the world of Oz, into this world. It doesn't work with a year-long intermission. You come back into it, and then you're just like, none of this makes any sense.
Well, the songs. There's no good songs. There's no popular. There's no fucking.
No, all of the good
Defying
songs are in
Gravity.
Act 1. Act 2 is the weaker part. Act 2 is the weaker part. Act 2 is the shorter part.
Yeah.
And the song, there's only one good song. People would say there's 2 good songs, but I think there's only 4 good. 4 good is the best song of Act 2. And I think that they changed so much in the movie from the play. They added stuff that doesn't make sense. I've been talking for a year, hoping that they would not intertwine the Wizard of Oz with Wicked, because it doesn't make sense.
You said
It
it
doesn't
last
make
year
sense.
that it was
there's
the worst
origin
part.
of the Tin Man and the Scarecrow, and sure, that can be inserted into it, but then adding the interaction with Dorothy, the lion, having them all together in front of the wizard, it doesn't make sense narratively. So I was hoping that they wouldn't do that, but they did. They intertwined those 2 movies, and it just doesn't make any sense narratively, because the Tin Man is supposed to be there, standing there for years, just, and that's how Dorothy meets him, with having to give him the oil can. But that's not what happens
So
in
he
Wicked.
lied about the tinsmith. Now, if we were to take this,
Yeah, they're all liars. They're all fooling Dorothy. They're all taking advantage of this young girl in order to get to the wizard. So it just doesn't make sense narratively. And I didn't want them to mix the 2, because in the play, it's just a completely different fanfic story. Sure, Dorothy is off camera crying, but that's pretty much it. You don't get anything with Dorothy. And it's kind of like in the books, you don't really get anything with Dorothy. She's like a background character. She's not even mentioned that much. So it doesn't make sense. And all of the stuff that they changed, I did not like. I did not like anything that they changed. Having what's her name, Nessa, fly and then get back in the chair, didn't like that. She's supposed to be able to walk. Having Glinda, adding everything that they added to Glinda makes her look terrible. She is a terrible character, a terrible person.
Does she have magic at the end? Does she have magic? Was that the influence of Elphaba giving her magic, or was that Elphaba doing one last spell?
No, she never got magic in the
right.
She's not supposed to get magic. She's
when
just
the grimoire's
supposed to learn
glowing,
her lesson, and try and be a good person, because she hasn't been a good person up until now. And now she just doesn't learn that lesson, and she's just magic now. She gets what she's always wanted, magic. And that's not supposed to happen, because then she doesn't really, what does she learn? She's just given this. So and then her being present in the manipulation song between Elphaba and the wizard, it doesn't look good, because she's manipulating her supposed friend that she loves. So it everything that they added and changed with Glinda, it doesn't work, because it just depicts her and makes her look terrible. She's a terrible character now.
Even some of I feel like they're just trying to not offend people with the Nessa in the chair. You know, she's disabled, whatever. Even the Munchkins, they're not little people.
The Munchkins are redheads with curly hair.
Yeah, I know.
That is literally the redhead. That's the Munchkins.
So weird. Here's
that is actually because it is and here's the thing, when they're advertising this movie, they're saying that, oh yeah, it's from the Wizard of Oz, the L. Frank Baum. No, it's not. It's from the Gregory Maguire Wicked book, which is why the Munchkins aren't depicted as little people.
Yeah.
They're just a little bit shorter than normal people in the
Right.
Gregory Maguire book.
Yeah.
That's
They're
where that
short.
comes
They're
from.
short kings. They're
They're
short.
just short kings.
Like
That's all
five
they are. They're
Rossies.
short kings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Michelle Yao, I'm sorry, Alan, the Asian representation. Michelle Yao, like I audibly groaned every time she sang.
She was terrible.
Whole-
Wait, let's
I
do
know.
this.
Why was there no
It's
Bowen
so
Yang
bad.
in this?
Now,
Barely any
God,
Bowen
dude.
Yang in this.
Here we get a better look at Dorothy in this scene.
An orgy?
No.
I've never been part of an orgy before.
Oh, me neither.
Wrong one, Chris. Wrong one.
I would rather
Oh my
watch
God.
this.
Can I blow the Tin Man? Get the fuck out of here.
Copyright
An
music.
orgy?
Okay.
Oh.
I screwed up
That's Axel
again.
Braun. Axel Braun. Wrong one.
No, he has better suits than
okay,
this.
sorry about that, folks. Sorry about that. There's a lot of clips.
That's the other thing I had a problem with, though. Not that clip, but Jesus. I had a problem with Nessa. I had a huge problem with Nessa, and I think not so much for her being disabled. Actually, I didn't like that at all. Why not just use an able-bodied
Regular.
actress so that you could look, you could have her in a wheelchair at first, right? And then in the second film, she could walk because of the magic, right? That would make more sense.
That's how
But
it's supposed to go.
My problem with the sister was this. I didn't see her be evil enough for them to warrant like celebrating her death, right? Like, because in the Wizard of Oz, they were all celebrating her death, right? The Wicked Witch is dead, right? And Dorothy gets her slippers. I didn't see Nessa be evil enough to warrant them celebrating this chick
propaganda, dying. Dante. They believed it because of propaganda, I guess.
No. I'm talking about, I'm talking about her sister, not Elphaba.
I know, but I'm headcanoning it that they also had fucking propaganda about her because, as you said, she doesn't really do anything other than misread
I want to see her be evil.
Yeah.
Like I want to see her do some shit. So
You want a heel turn. That's what you want.
When she dies, I get it, right?
On that. Yeah, absolutely. They had the time too. They had the padded out time to do that, to expand on the tyrant that Nessa Rose becomes, because she becomes a tyrant in Munchkin Land. And they only showed it from like Bach's point of view to show like his sort of turn to the evil Tin Man and wanting to kill Elphaba. They could have expanded on that. They could have shown Munchkin Land and like the type of ruler that she is in Munchkin Land, because she is a tyrant. She does not let them leave.
You can't
and
do that now.
Enforces like her own views onto the Munchkins.
Isn't this a Doctor Who type thing where Russell T Davies changed that whatever the fuck it was, the master from a wheelchair because he's tired of seeing people in wheelchairs, even though that was like the one example as being depicted as evil, and so you can't have her be in a wheelchair and be evil tyrant because it's bad to handicap people somehow.
Well, what makes it worse, Badger, is that she's a person of color in a wheelchair, so they definitely can't make her the villain.
Well, statistics alone in Oz, you can't enforce that stereotype. I'm sorry.
I don't know. I just think
mention it in the show, and they expand on it a little bit in the movie. It could have been done even better, more.
It could have. They're just. It doesn't make sense with the four of them. The Cowardly Lion. Coleman Domingo had like 3 lines.
Yes. Oh my
as
goodness.
This horrible digital. And can we talk about digital effects for a moment? Are they getting objectively worse overall?
It feels
Bloom
yes.
Overused.
Horrible.
It's horrible. And I think I was trying to think, why they're just bad, but everything is worse. Customer service, fast food, like just everything at every level is just worse. Sure. Digital effects, throw that in. It's it was, look, they had an opportunity to fix what was a disappointing part of the play, right? That second act,
it's weak.
It's weak. They blew it. The things they chose, and you're right, Nessa, they didn't really make her evil enough. I mean, she's angry because Bach kind of rejects her. Like, that's it.
Well, that happens.
That happens.
It happens in the show. They've expanded a little bit more in the movie, but it's so, you know what it is? It's just so closed quartered. Like you only see it from Nessa, Bach, and Elphaba's point of view. You don't see everybody else is like background characters. It's just done a lot better in the first movie. Where you have like more background characters, more people, more reactions. This is just them three. And I
You
think
know what
that's
it
why
is?
you don't get like the feeling of Nessa's like evilness in Munchkin Land because you're just seeing it from their point of view.
Well, that's the thing about the first movie and why the first movie is so great is because it was immersive. You were drawn into the world of Oz. You were a student at Shiz. When you got to the Emerald City, there was all this grandeur. It was like big musical numbers, song and dance numbers. The Oz does ballroom. It was like we're living in Oz, and I think that's what drew people to that first movie. In this one, there's none of that. There's one song and dance number, and this idea of this giant world is now very small. When you have in the first movie, you have a cast of hundreds. In this movie, you have a cast of 5. And so this is a much smaller movie.
But also, and maybe I missed something here, but when Fiyero gets, I guess crucified or whatever they do to him, and then he comes back to the Emerald City with the lion and Dorothy and the Tin Man, no one recognized his outfit. No one recognized his soldier outfit.
Oh, right.
As being one of them.
That's why it doesn't make sense. That's why I was like,
because in the play it was tipped off automatically.
This movie, it doesn't make sense narratively. Yeah.
Also, I'm sorry, but Elphaba just banged this guy, and she didn't recognize him when he comes back with Dorothy and the Tin Man.
Well, she did, and everyone is doing this real sophisticated pretending for some reason.
It was a con. They were doing the long con.
So this is one big gaslight. The whole film was a gaslight.
By the way, did you notice that during the cyclone, everyone was indoors except one person? That was Nessa.
The one in the wheelchair, by the way.
Yeah.
It's the performances are fine too. It's just simply pacing and writing, and it's I guess it is what Alan said. Because I see people in the comments saying like, well, it's not exactly made for you. It's like, but the fucking first one wasn't made for me and I enjoyed it. So
it's made for me
what
and
happened?
I didn't enjoy it.
Right. So there you thank you, Steph.
Yeah. I gave it a 6 out of 10. There are a lot of things that I like about it. I like all of the callbacks to the stage play. I think John M. Chu is really good at doing that. He did a bunch of it in the first movie. You can tell it feels like they are playing to an audience that are sitting in front of them. And in this, I love the little things that they did to call back to the stage play. There's little things that they did that they put in the movie. That's a callback to the stage play, but there's just way too much that they changed, way too much that they added. I was worried about the Wizard of Oz addition into this movie. It doesn't make sense narratively. It confuses so many people. That's why in the play, it's just sort of like hinted that she found Dorothy, but nobody else was with Dorothy when she captured Dorothy. Everybody else was gone. They were doing their own thing. Nobody was with Dorothy. Here, they're all with Dorothy, and it doesn't make sense. And it's something that I was worried about this whole year leading up to this movie because it just doesn't make sense. And I've been seeing online the reactions to this movie, and everybody is confused. Everybody is so confused as to how these characters ended up with Dorothy.
Yeah, they needed to explain that. In the play, they go over it it happens so quick, you're like, okay, I buy it. In the movie, it really doesn't work. If you've seen the play, you're filling in things from the
Scarecrow,
play.
biggest of all, especially with how the hell he knew what was going on at the end there and where certain someone was hidden.
But also the reason why it doesn't work though is because he becomes the Scarecrow after Dorothy already arrives.
Yeah.
He becomes a Scarecrow after Dorothy comes.
And because she was marble mouthed when she was doing the grimoire spell, she wasn't specific enough about what protections she wanted. And it was, oops, sorry. Well, it did protect you, didn't it?
Elphaba is bad at spells.
So wait, so if we're going like canonically, if we're going canonically, then Dorothy meets the Scarecrow literally like minutes after he becomes the Scarecrow.
Yes.
And then he says, and then he has to get a brain. What?
And the Tin Man, there's no Tinsmith, there's no missing a heart. He's always like that and angry. And I forgot he was so bloodthirsty in the Judy Garland one.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, in the play, the Wizard of Oz stuff is barely there.
Yeah. Even the lion story when he comes in and warns all of the animals when Elphaba is singing her song, No Place Like Home. He comes in and he's just like, don't trust her. Don't trust her. She took me. She kidnapped me. And it's like, no, she didn't. She freed you. What are you talking about? In the show,
Right.
it kind of makes sense. Here, it doesn't, because like she's literally talking to all of these animals who should be afraid of her. She's helping them and they know this. But the lion comes in and says, oh, lion
There was
napped
a
me
whole
when I was a cub. She cub napped me and now I'm frightened. It
that whole
doesn't make
propaganda
sense.
thing, and that's why I
doesn't
kind of
make
like the Jeff Goldblum about like they wouldn't believe me even if I told them the truth. Yeah, like people have always been possessed by ideas. That's a very old time, but I know they directly meant that today in online discourse and like.
Look, man, I honestly, I am happy for the success of this film. I do think that however I feel about it or not, right? I think that they had a target audience. Apparently, they hit that target audience because they're doing very well in the box office. I think, the fact that a movie like this and a movie like Barbie can blow up and do well and know their audience and hit that audience, I think that's great. My problem is I feel like Hollywood is going to learn the wrong lessons from this film. And that's what bugs me, right? Like if they learned the lesson that, hey, if we just go after our target audience, we can make money. We could do well again, right? They're not going to take this lesson. They're going to take this as some kind of, hey, you know what? We need more movies about the wrongdoings of people of color and and all this other shit. And nothing's going to change.
Well, I think, though, that this film is unique in the sense that it is a previously existing IP. It existed as a book. It existed as a very successful Broadway show. It's kind of its own thing. I don't think this is ever going to start a trend. The next big musical we have really coming out is the Michael Jackson biopic, which I also think is going to be huge.
Oh, it's going to make a bunch of money internationally.
Yeah, I mean, those trailers look incredible.
Yeah, but doesn't Dante? Don't you mean it's gonna be like the Maleficent shit, where Maleficent is like, she's actually, and this is another.
Learn the right lessons,
it existed already, right?
And
look, they're gonna find more of those.
I love the fact that it's doing well, and I think I put it in the category of Barbie because you know what? If the women and the gays are going out in droves to watch it, great. That's
well, they did announce a Cinderella or Sleeping Beauty musical.
What?
Universal did.
But how are you gonna do that?
Well, that's the thing. I mean, you can't. I think one of the things about Wicked is that it's been a beloved show for decades now, and the book. So it really is. It's already a wildly successful and established IP that they exploited. I mean, the fact they even made 2 films was in a way sort of exploitive, but it works. I mean, I think that this is the thing that its success is, I think, well deserved.
Right, but it is the wrong lesson. If you're saying that they're going to make a musical of Cinderella, they're now going.
That is the wrong lesson because.
But the thing is, they're going in the wrong direction that Broadway is going. When they start making musicals about everything, they made a musical about Catch Me If You Can. They made a musical of Shrek. They made a musical of Spider-Man. All failure.
Yeah.
Back to the future. Back to the future.
Spider-Man
Yeah,
musical.
and I can't think. They even did Groundhog Day, and I can't even think of one of those musicals.
Beetlejuice.
That was okay. Beetlejuice is probably the only really successful movie adaptation for Broadway. The rest have always, there's nothing special about them, and they're just doing it because they're running out of ideas, and so they're just going to take
the Prince musical is about to go to Broadway.
The Mean
Purple
Girls
Rain
musical.
That could be
Really?
interesting.
Yeah, but how the music will be great.
Now we can talk all day and critique the film. It's a financial success. I do think it will make less than the first movie.